Well, I don't want these videos to become repetitious. And I'm referring to simping for Joe Biden. But it needs to be said. I was listening to Radio Sputnik earlier this morning. They were talking about how, in essence, when Trump was president, they were miscounting COVID cases to make Trump look better. And they're doing something similar with Joe Biden. And I'm listening to Jamal Thomas on Fault Lines. Listen to him, and I agree with him. You know, that we should hold you accountable, whether you're Democrat, Republican, whoever you are, black, white, whatever you are. You should be held accountable for what you say and do. But I really do feel somewhat morose for Joe Biden, because you just realize he's screwed either way it goes. You know, if Joe Biden comes out and he's serious and he's like, look, yeah, COVID's pretty bad. This is a bad disease, and the vaccine isn't 110%, but, you know, the vaccine doesn't work 100%. If he does that, you know, you've got Republicans they're like, I want 110% assurance that this vaccine is going to protect me from COVID. I don't know if it's loud in the background, guys. I'm sorry. If it's loud, I'll do it again. If it's a loud background. But you've got these rednecks who are like, look, I want this vaccine to give me no side effects, and I'll be back in action tomorrow, and it's not going to hurt, and it's going to 110% protect me from COVID. That's not going to happen. No vaccine does that, especially not one as early on as this one, because we haven't had COVID very long. It usually takes a while to get a vaccine. That's just not going to happen. So if he's honest, rednecks will be like, see, I'm not going to get it. It's not going to work. But then if he's deceitful, like he's doing now, and he says, well, you know, the vaccine's 100% this, that, and the other, then rednecks can come out down the road and say, see, Joe lied about this. Joe Biden is a liar. He lied. So I feel, you know, I mean, that's sad to me, to know that this is just the direction that America is going now. That we're just taking this, we're slouching towards the movie Idiocracy. You heard slouching towards Gomorrah? We're slouching towards Idiocracy, to where a good portion of the country just says, we don't believe in science that's inconvenient to our beliefs and our philosophy. And that's sad to me. You know, I knew this guy I used to work with when I was doing the wheeling runs right before it ended. And he was telling me about, like, you know, this redneck right-wing stuff, that basically as society collapses when you go towards, like, homosexuality and transgender stuff, that when that becomes, you've always had that. You've always had Gore Vidal. You always had, you know, homosexuals in the arts and philosophy and all that. But when it becomes so normalized, that's when a society's collapsing. I don't believe that. I don't believe there's anything to that. I think that's just somebody that thinks that as society we're supposed to look down on certain people, and the fact that you can't do that now, to them it's like, oh man, I can't even be me. I'm supposed to be the one, society's supposed to revolve around me, and then I can be racist and disrespectful, and the fact that I can't be mean and be nasty, say what I want, then that means I'm losing power and the society's collapse. That's what that is. I didn't go any further with him. I let him talk, done with it. I think that we're sliding towards idiocracy. We're you know, seeing this stuff about how you have state governors that want to actually try to mess with teachers' monies and mess with different local municipalities, but they can't create mask mandates. It shows you that the narrative of states' rights and local rights, that's all a bunch of BS. That's just something they've put forward. And you see now that it was all BS. It was always BS. I told you, it said Joe Biden is actually trying to do a lot of the things he talked about, you know, dealing with racism, dealing with domestic terrorism, putting forward these goals on getting the shots. And it's sad. I made the analogy like a man that's getting out of prison that says, look, I'm gonna go no drinking, I'm gonna go get my job, I'm gonna take care of my kids and all. And he gets out, he's ironing his pants, getting up early in the morning, and going out there and getting on the bus early, first bus out. He goes 5 interviews in a day and can't get a job. That's Joe Biden. It's sad. It really is, because in some ways I have had to acknowledge on here that Joe Biden is actually doing better than I thought he would. But that this is just the state of affairs, that Trump led us down this alley, and Joe Biden is kind of getting us just to zero. We've been like, we're in the negatives and we're at zero. And what happens in life, you have crises. I don't care how good you're doing or bad you're doing, you have crises. And when you're already down, it's like a squared. It's like to the third time or the fourth time. That's to me what Joe Biden's looking at, and that's sad to me. It's truly sad to realize that and see that and know that, this is just what it is. That our politics is not about logic and science and reality. And I say that is the fall of a society. It isn't homosexuality or transsexuality, whatever, being accepted. It's when a significant part of the population says, I just don't believe in reality. I just refuse to believe in discovery and technology and science if it doesn't fit my narrative. What's the guy, Galileo, whatever, that was talking about the earth rotates, everything rotates around the sun. Remember they were trying to twist it, and at one time they said everything rotates around earth, and that's not true now, and they locked him up and all that, the Catholic Church. It's the same thing. That's sad. To know that, to understand that no matter what these people do, even when they do good, they'll still be ostracized. My heart goes out to Joe Biden. My heart goes out to the people that are working with them, because this is the fall of America. This is the fall of the West. Every time I see these massive protests about the lockdowns, that's what I think about. When a segment of the population, in America, it's worse because you have the guns. So, I had to do this video. Joe Biden is pretty much, you're struggling either way you go. You tell the truth, and people are like, well, I'm not taking a shot then because, it's going to give me this disease. And they say when you get the second shot or whatever, you do go through it. You do have your, you do go through it. There's a little bit of sickness that comes with it. Fever or whatever. Some people it's worse, some people it's not that bad. But I blame Trump. Because Trump put forward the notion that there would be this magic potion and that you just have the UV light and injection in the body. And people made fun of Trump for that. And what he was really saying was Trump was trying to balance it. In that, okay, COVID's real. But do we want to shut the country down for it? As well as, do we want to lose our machismo of we're tough rednecks and we don't believe in science, we're tough, until you have a pandemic, a disease that science is telling you to take seriously. So Trump was trying to play both sides. You understand? Wearing the shooting glasses instead of wearing a mask. He wouldn't wear the mask until much later on he got COVID. Then even after he got COVID, he's in a limo with Secret Service people. That thing's sealed. So they're being exposed to it. It's sealed. I realized Trump's response to COVID is really the right's response to climate change and pollution and everything else. Trump really showed you the game of this is the reality. This is what it is. That we're just not going to deal with reality now. Because dealing with reality means you got to do something about it, right? If I acknowledge a problem, then it's implied I morally must do something about it. If I say there's a drug problem in my community, I morally have to step forward and do something. And it might be dangerous. Or I could just say, nah, I don't see anything. I feel for Joe Biden. I feel for his administration. And I think that it's kind of representative of a new era in our politics, maybe as well. I'll leave y'all to it. Have a good one.